Hi, this is Nichelle Nichols, and I'm here with this wonderful gentleman who has convinced me to be here to talk to you about his wonderful show. And I wouldn't do it if it wasn't wonderful. So he's going to tell you what the name of his show is and how he got me, convinced me, powerful me, Miss Nichols, to come on the show. I am delighted to be here.
Thank you very much. And you are watching Sci-Fi Journal.
So there.
To another edition of Sci-Fi Journal presented by the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. This show is for January 2015. I'm Marc Morisseau, chairman of the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. Also hosting the show today are Calvin Watts III and Jay Kingston, who's also our historian type dude for the show, for the club.
Hysterical historian.
The hysterical historian. James Hinsey is spending a nice vacation time with his family this month. All right, gentlemen, we begin our 19th season.
That's
of
just
Sci-Fi Journal.
19 seasons.
That's what
Scary.
happens when you get
Slowly we turn, step by step,
inch by inch, into the grave. There we go.
Well, you two are youngins at this. You know, well, we were talking really quickly before we came into the studio, and I came across some old VHS tapes, which I have to go through. But one of them has some Star Trek: The Unofficial Fan Club Show episodes on them. So for me, I'm looking at 20 years.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yep.
We do with another public access cable TV show host. All right, now, before, we've always had people say, why don't you wear makeup on your head and all this stuff? We can't afford makeup and all that stuff because we got the shine going on. So I figured,
Because we have a budget.
because we have a
of
budget,
zero.
we wouldn't know how to use makeup anyway. So you know, I'm going to solve the problem. I'm going to start wearing hats. Why? Because hats are cool. And this first month's hat is.
Who are you, Doctor Who?
Yes, exactly. Bow ties are cool, feathers are cool, and hats are cool. This first one is for the director, Cat. This is the one I'm wearing for this month. It's my Sequest DSV cap.
Very
There you
nice.
go. What do you think? All right?
And
All
so
right.
some of these people are out there saying, what
What's
the heck
the-
is
All right.
Sequest DSV?
Check it out on Google. It was a
It's
pretty...
a show that Mark liked, so it sank like a rock.
Exactly, because it was about a submarine. Okay. Now, as always, we begin talking about the wonderful world of movies with a segment we call Popcorn Previews. Take it away, Jay.
Alrighty. Well, here we are. That's the camera. My first pick this month is a film by Tom Hanks called Tomorrowland. And it's based upon the story of a girl who gets out of jail. And as she's claiming her possessions from the jailer, she sees a pin on the ground. And she says, "This isn't mine." She goes to pick it up, and when she does, she's instantly transported to another place, to Tomorrowland.
Cool.
And therefore, the adventure begins. And I don't have the name of the young girl. Unfortunately, it escapes me at the moment.
She was in Under the Dome.
She was in on
CBS.
Yes, on CBS. This premieres on May the 2nd.
I think
Excuse me,
it's
22nd.
Yep.
May 22nd of 2015. And this year. So, let's see that footage.
Newton, Yeah.
Okay. Got one money clip. $47.32. One Florida State driver's license. Baseball cap. One pen. One pack of Beeman's gum, and whatever that is.
That's not mine.
What's not yours?
The pen. I've never...
What if there was a place? A secret place where nothing was impossible.
No way.
A miraculous place where you could actually change the world. You want to go?
Okay, I think that looks really cool.
Yep, looks like a lot of fun.
It does. It looks like it's going to be really neat, you know. And Tomorrowland is one of the coolest things in Disney World and Disneyland.
May is shaping up to be a really good movie month this year.
Our next selection is Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
They're still making Star Wars movies?
They're still making Star Wars movies. This has got to be one of the most highly anticipated movies of all time,
Because they
maybe?
need to sell more action figures, as if we don't have enough.
But it stars Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew. All the original cast is back. Here's that clip.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it? Side and the light.
And this clip has already started all sorts of controversies. It's like, as William Shatner would say, get a life. It's just a clip from an upcoming movie.
It's just
For God's
a
sake,
movie.
don't make more of it than it's
and
supposed
it's a
to be.
teaser clip. And you know what? I have interest.
Oh, yeah.
And,
oh, yeah.
and it can't be worse than Attack of the Clones. I mean, come on,
That's
let's
true.
be honest. So,
No, this looks like they're doing back to the original feel of Star Wars.
Right.
It's how it looks. Now, don't quote me on it. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that's how it looks from the clip. So,
All right.
well, I am saying I'll be there opening day.
Yeah, me too.
yep. Next, we have Terminator Genisys, starring Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor.
Yep.
And, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
who is coming back as the Terminator.
Yeah.
And this one, the only date that I got on this was Summer.
And Matt Smith, the old Doctor Who.
Matt Smith will be in it.
Jason Clarke, who starred in the original Showtime series Brotherhood.
Yep.
Plays
No
John
relation
Connor.
to Amelia Clarke, right?
Right.
Okay.
No relation to Arthur C. Clarke. So
Well,
just had to throw that in.
that's really pulling it out of the geek hat.
It's pulling it out of somewhere.
So,
And if you don't know who Arthur C. Clarke is,
Read a
Google
book.
it and read a book.
yep, read a book, rent a movie. Anyway, let's take a look at that footage.
I look at each of you, and I see the marks of this long and terrible war. If we die tonight, mankind dies with us. The machine sent a Terminator back to the time before the war to kill my mother, Sarah Connor.
Let me save her.
The time you're going back to should be scared and weak.
Take care of her for me, Kyle.
Come with me if you want to live.
It's all wrong. John sent me here to save you.
From the Terminator that was sent back to kill me, but we already took care of him.
We have been waiting for you.
Everything's changed. We can stop Judgment Day from happening. Where is he?
I'll be back.
What?
I gotta tell you something. I'm as big a Terminator fan as anyone.
Right.
But the last part of that trailer bothers me.
Does it?
Because if that's like a really big climactic moment in the film that they just gave away,
Right.
then that's going to kill the franchise before it even starts off the new trilogy or whatever it is you want to call it.
Right.
Well, talk about rebooting trilogies and rebooting franchises. I heard the rumor that they are going to be, I guess Marvel is trying to acquire the rights to Spider-Man from Sony.
They have been actively and behind the scenes in talks to try and work out something, because the Spider-Man franchise isn't going the way Sony's expected.
Right.
Right.
And so there is Spider-Man, for those of you who don't read the comics, it was an integral part of the Civil War storyline a few years back, of which the next Captain America movie is going to be about.
Absolutely.
And to go over that really quickly, it's basically Iron Man and Captain America are on opposite sides of this registration act, which basically requires every superhuman to register and publicly admit themselves that they're superheroes, so they can the government can like regulate things and keep things safe, allegedly, for like everybody. And Spider-Man was an integral part of that, and so they're trying to work it in so he makes a cameo in that and basically gets brought into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Whether or not it actually happens, who knows, but it's definitely a possibility.
Well, if anyone from Marvel is listening to us, and I highly doubt it, but if you are listening, when you pick up the Spider-Man franchise, just pick it up and run with it. Don't start with his origin story all over again. We don't need to see it again. Okay, we've already had 2 starts and stops where we've seen his origin story. Everybody knows it.
Yep. Uncle Ben dies. We already know.
So
Thank
let's
you.
just pick up from Spider-Man being a hero in New York, whether he's an outlaw type of hero where J. Jonah Jameson is after him, or whatever. So I digress. I'm getting away from my next movie.
Yes, you do. Let's go.
So I know I've shown this clip or these clips before,
Right.
but since the movie is coming out this month,
Finally.
yes, on February 6th, September, where am I?
I don't know.
On February 6th,
Where are you ever?
I'm living in my own little world. Jupiter Ascending, starring Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum
Tatum. Yep.
and Mila Kunis. And I've already described what the movie's about. So let's just roll the footage and you can see for yourselves.
You're the perfect hunting machine. Fearless. Relentless. You've been searching for one thing your whole life. And she's down there.
Make sure this is the right one.
It's her.
Good. Kill her.
Who are you? I'm here to help you.
It can be difficult for people from underdeveloped worlds to hear that their planet is not the only inhabited planet.
Your Majesty, Kane was the best soldier I ever went into battle with.
If she's what you say she is, we're not getting off this planet without a fight.
Your Earth is a very small part of a very large industry.
I feel I have you at somewhat of a disadvantage.
Is that because he kidnapped me?
Some lives will always matter more than others.
How many times have they delayed and then re-released this movie? Have they done it at least twice?
They've done it at least twice.
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
No.
But you can't tell. Maybe it'll work out. You know? Give it a shot, see what happens. Maybe don't go the first week.
Right.
See what the reviewers say.
Or wait for 2 weeks for it to come out on DVD.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, it could turn out to be another Avatar.
It could be.
That's right.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
And
either.
I get the reference. So, as my pig Latin teacher would say, usque uye, Alvin K. So that's all I've got for popcorn previews for this month. Now, Calvin has the segment that everybody waits for every month. It's our favorite segment, Game Over. Take it away, Calvin.
That's it, man. It's game over, man. It's game over.
Nobody waits for this segment. I don't know. Well, no, they don't.
You don't wait for this segment?
No, I don't even wait for this segment, and I do it.
We've looked at the analytics. No, we
Right, okay.
We've got data compiled by no one.
That's right.
That says that you are the favorite segment on the show.
So just go with it.
Yeah.
Okay? Take our word for it.
Okay. So since we've been going all over the place, you know, between Rhode Island Comic Con, we've been really busy the past couple of months.
Yep.
Now that we've gotten past Christmas, home media basically takes a dive. A lot of cool stuff did come out in December and very recently, and here's a listing of that stuff. Right now, in whatever outlet that you want to get, you can go and get Guardians of the Galaxy, very awesome. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, very awesome. The Maze Runner, which was much better than I thought it was going to be.
That was a good film.
In
I
my
saw it.
opinion, very awesome.
I haven't seen it yet.
The reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is a very love-hate film. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but anyway, it's about now. Doctor Who Season 8, and it's like new version Season 8. So, but this is the first season with Peter Capaldi.
Yep.
Under the Dome Season 2. And I'll even throw in a little anime, really cool reference, Mazinger Z, which is the first real super robot series, the original. The second half of the series for episodes 47 and 92 is also out and available now. But this goes to show you exactly how the beginning of the year starts out, because there isn't really a whole lot, up until later on anyways. So on January 6th, we have Left Behind, which is a Nicolas Cage end-of-the-world movie with religious undertones, which is a reboot of a movie that came out like 12 or 13 years ago with Kirk Cameron.
Nicolas Cage.
It's okay.
No.
I know,
right.
I know.
It's gonna be fine.
No. Okay.
That's why.
gonna be
That's
fine.
kind of why I threw it in there.
No,
So,
it's not.
It's okay.
anyways, it lasted in the theaters maybe a week.
If I ever meet this guy in person, I am so screwed.
But anyway, that's out. I do have interest, even though Mark doesn't. So there you go. On the 13th, At the Earth's Core.
Really? All right.
Literally, there's nothing coming out on the 13th. So the big movies coming out sci-fi wise are reissues of At the Earth's Core and Capricorn 1. I kid you not.
Man.
Which was a really good movie, actually. If you've never seen Capricorn 1
was really good.
You know what's sad about that? A lot of people actually believe that whole scenario.
And still to this day.
And stuff.
It's a really good mystery, thriller, dramatic movie with some sci-fi stuff in it, and you should really see it.
And totally fake, but okay.
O.J. Simpson's in it.
That's right.
Just to throw that out
And
there.
look what happened to him. Okay.
Fortunately, the rest of January is shaping up to be much better. On the 20th, you're going to have the Luc Besson directed film Lucy. He's the guy who did The Fifth Element.
Yeah, that was
starring
I like that.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yep.
That's going to be cool.
That was well done.
Box Trolls comes out on that day.
All right.
And also Terry Gilliam's latest crazy movie with Christoph Waltz called The Zero Theorem.
Oh, yes.
Anything that he does looks really crazy, but I mean, he's nothing short of brilliant.
The reviews were kind of meh on that one, though, weren't they?
I still want to see it. It doesn't matter. It's him. And on the 27th, the latest DC Universe movie, Justice League: Thrones of Atlantis. So Aquaman gets his spotlight finally.
You'll be picking up that one.
Oh yeah, I'll be
like
grabbing that one.
Things. Yep.
So that'll be pretty cool.
Okay.
All right. Not much in the world of video games going on right now. Christmas season is over. Xbox right now is outselling the PlayStation 4 through all its promotions and stuff.
How long is Microsoft going to support the 360?
Probably for another couple of years.
Really?
They're still a big fan
they're
base,
still
but
selling.
it's starting. Yeah. It is starting to trickle down. The same thing with the PlayStation 3. More and more stuff is getting switched over to the new systems. So, but they probably still have another couple of years, and you'll still see Madden coming out for them for a while. Okay. So, Dying Light will be the first big release coming out. It's still scheduled for January. The people who did Dead Island, basically it's a next-gen system game only, and it's a survival horror with kind of like a new twist, zombie apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, but they get much more aggressive at night, something with the disease or whatever the epidemic, the affliction that they have, and so it's a survival horror game, which is always cool. So there's that. People are going through the first expansion for Destiny, The Dark Below, which has gotten very mixed feelings as to whether it's good or whether it's bad. It's still a fun game, but if you've never experienced the MMO game before, like World of Warcraft or anything, it'll really make you grind your teeth.
All right.
But it's still pretty cool.
Okay.
So there's that. Pinball Arcade is going pretty strong. We were talking really quickly before we went on the air about Pugsley from the Addams Family passing away.
Right.
Which was kind of funny because the Addams Family did get approved, and it should be on the Pinball Arcade probably in February.
Now, the game is based on the movie.
The game is based on the movie, but the two people they weren't able to get likenesses for were Christopher Lloyd, who they worked on to like the very last second, and for some reason the kid who played Pugsley.
Oh, all right.
He just didn't want to do it, which was
dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I just bring that up, but that's going to be really cool. And Pinball Arcade is now on the Xbox One, which is really cool for me.
Okay.
And Starship Troopers is going to be the next release coming out in February.
Okay.
If you never played the Starship Troopers pinball machine, it's fairly unique. It's up at the Pinball Wizard Arcade up in New Hampshire. If you haven't gone, you really should. And it's just fun. Let's see what else is going on. Speaking of the Pinball Arcade, one of the things, and since we have a really limited time this month, we won't get into this month, but next month, I have been taking my time to work with the Blue Joke Goji controller. I've downloaded some of the games and working with that. And so we are going to go into that next month. Okay, last but certainly not least, our monthly update for Pintastic New England, which is still going to be going strong. The hype is starting to build up. Jersey Jack Pinball is going to be a big part of it. It's going to be the first New England-specific pinball convention, July 10th and 11th, 2015.
All right.
And the featured table this month, being that it's January, is a fairly rare table, but a fun table, based on wrestling, the WWF Royal Rumble. And this is pretty cool. So
WWF or WWE?
Nope, WWF. This is a table from back in the mid-90s, so back when it was still WWF.
All right. I didn't know if they were going to have trouble.
You're absolutely right. It's WWE now, but back then it was WWF.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that's a table, and so check this out. Okay, the table you were looking at here is really, really cool. It's a Data East table, which those are rare in itself. Not many Data East tables that were made, very limited. Most of the stuff were based off of licensed themes. Jurassic Park is one of the ones that comes to my mind. Also the Star Trek 25th anniversary. This one is special because it's one of my more favorite pinball machines. And it's a WWF Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, as you know, is based on probably the most popular pay-per-view outside of WrestleMania. And this was made in the mid-90s. If you look at the back glass, it has a lot of the characters and the wrestlers back then who were really popular, like Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart. And why don't you talk a little bit about this?
This game was also this was actually one of the first two games I bought, not this one, but and I had it shipped from Florida because back then I didn't know about Pinside. I didn't know about the BPA. I bought it on eBay and I had it shipped over here. And I played the game so much that I was getting very good at it, so I ended up selling it to get something else. But this is the second one. This is in the nicer condition. I put full LEDs in it, which really, really makes this game pop out. And it's got the prototype back glass on it, where it shows all the wrestlers instead of just a few that made it to the original, back glass. Very fun game. Data East made a lot of fun games, and people just overlook them. But this game has a mini play field. It has 2 ramps. It has a very, very cool wizard mode, where you get to the Royal Rumble. You gotta shoot the 3 ramps, and then you start the Royal Rumble, which is a 6-ball multi-ball, and you gotta basically you're in the Royal Rumble, and you gotta eliminate everybody to win. And I've never done it before, but it's very difficult.
I'm sorry, I love pinball. I can't get enough. And as we get closer to this convention, I'm really starting to get psyched for it.
I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked. Got my thumbs ready. Okay.
So that's all we have for this month.
You know why I like January? Because it's my birthday in January.
Really? So you're going to celebrate being the oldest one here?
That's right. But I look at it this way, though. I'm going to be 56 years old, and science says that every 7 years, pretty much all your cells are replaced in your body. So I look at it as 56 as the start of my 8th regeneration.
Really?
Yeah. Let's go with that, okay?
Get the saran wrap, Deb.
I am laughing because Mark's daughter is on camera and she just rolled her eyes, and it was like the funniest thing I have seen today so far.
Okay, if you watch The Flash on the CW, and a lot of us do,
yes,
Mark Hamill will reprise his role as the Trickster in episode 17 of the CW's The Flash series. The CW described him as an anarchist, unlike the goofy prankster he was previously, who was already in prison. When he comes on the scene, he assists Barry and Detective West in stopping a new trickster, emulating his predecessor, and The Flash returns on January 20th of 2015. So that's neat because we've had Barry Allen Ship, the original Flash from the CBS show, and Amanda Hayes made an appearance again from that show as well. So kind of neat to find those.
You mean John Wesley Ship?
John Wesley Ship. What did I say?
Barry Allen Ship.
Oh, thank you. I had Barry Allen on the brain. I had Barry Allen on the brain.
We got it.
Dementia means you repeat yourself.
That's what happens when you get old.
That's right. My eighth regeneration. Sci-Fi Channel's 12 Monkeys premieres Friday, January 16th at 9 p.m.
And we got 3 of them sitting right here at this panel.
That's right. Based on the 1995 film by Terry Gilliam, 12 Monkeys follows the journey of a time traveler from the post-apocalyptic future who was on a mission to eradicate the source of a deadly plague. And also that same night, season 2 of Helix begins.
Cool.
On the Sci-Fi Channel. You know, I've never seen 12 Monkeys.
What?
I've never seen that movie.
That was a good film.
That's a very good film.
Yep. Should be on my list.
Still like all over the place, but still it was good.
I'll probably DVD or Netflix it or whatever before the TV show starts.
Good acting job by Bruce Willis.
Yes.
The first time people realized that Brad Pitt could actually act.
There you go. The mid-season premiere of Arrow, episode 10, Left Behind, is set for January 21st, 2015. All right, that's pretty cool. And did you guys watch the Sci-Fi limited series Ascension?
No.
No.
You haven't seen it? Okay.
How was it?
It was a 3-part series. It was about people on a multi-generational spaceship who were traveling from Earth to Proxima. And they started in 1963. They were halfway through their journey, only it turns out that they really weren't going anywhere. The whole thing was like a huge experiment, science experiment. It was kind of weird. The nice thing about it was that Tricia Helfer from Battlestar Galactica was in it, and she has a very nice backside. You get to see that a few times. But otherwise, avoid Ascension. All right, series creator Simon Barry and star Rachel Nichols have both confirmed that the Sci-Fi Channel series Continuum will return for a 4th and final season of 6 episodes in 2015. Which will apparently wrap up the cliffhanger that left fans stunned at the end of season 3. They were hoping for a full season of 15 episodes, but producers of the Canadian import gave the green light for a shorter season. So the good news is we'll be getting more Continuum. The bad news is it'll be a final short season.
Well, hey, on the bright side, and I've never seen the show, but I've heard good things about it, is the fact that at least they'll be able to finish it out.
Right.
In a way that they want.
Yeah,
There'll be an ending.
I watched the whole thing. It was pretty cool.
Way too many shows, get stuck on cliffhangers that you never get resolved. So anytime you get something that's decent that will have some resolution is always a good thing.
Sounds good. All right, and then last but not least, the final episodes of season 5 of The Walking Dead return on Sunday, February 8th at 9 p.m. on AMC. Did you guys watch the finale?
Did anyone not know what was... I mean, that was coming a mile away.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah. I knew one of them was going to
The only question was, were there going to be any others?
Oh, all right. Possibility that a couple of main people.
So, but yeah, no. Either to keep it spoiler-free,
right.
You knew that either Beth or Carol or somebody that was in that hospital, somebody major of the group, wasn't going to make it out.
Right.
And so... somebody doesn't make it out, and if you want to know who, go find out. Or don't read Facebook like the poor people who were, I guess they said who died, and before it aired on the West Coast, which was like really bad.
Yep.
So, but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Good. Love The Walking Dead.
And the spinoff, they just started casting the spinoff.
Yes,
it's going to be set in LA.
Yep.
And
with
is it Cliff Curtis?
A much younger crew.
Yeah, I think Cliff Curtis, who was in... He's been in a few movies. He was in that Arnold Schwarzenegger terrorist movie when he was a firefighter. And he's been in Runaway Jury. He's going to be the star. He's actually a good character actor. So
and
should be interesting.
I believe it takes place before the whole zombie thing begins.
Like during the initial outbreak.
The initial outbreak of it.
Is what they're saying. So
I explain that backstory. So that'll be neat. Okay. All right. That's all I have this month for TV news. Anime Daisuke segment we can push for next time because James is not here, but he's got something during the show. We have some leftover stuff from Rhode Island Comic Con that we attended last November. A bunch of interviews that we'd like to show you guys, so let's take a look at that.
It's James here with James from Forge Studio. They're up in Lowell, Massachusetts, and they have a studio also in New York, I believe. And I saw them at Anime Boston, and they scanned me with my Snape outfit and made a little 3D model that I could have made into a 3D figure. Tell me, how long you guys been doing this?
About a year and a half now.
Yeah?
Yep, ever since Boston Comic Con last year.
And so along with the scanning process, what does it take to make these little figures?
A little magic, a little science. We're doing 3D editing, 3D printing, a lot of kind of touch and go, and then just normal business practices.
Cool. And I'm going to show some of this footage from last year, too, that I shot at Anime Boston. So how long does it take to usually just scan someone and then print it?
So the scan takes about 2 to 3 minutes per scan. Then we're going to edit them, print them back home, and we're going to ship them off to you. Normally about 1 to 3 weeks.
Wow, 1 to 3 weeks. And you can have your own action figure, sort of, that you can put on display. That's really cool. And the website is forgestudio3d.com, right?
Yep, forgestudio3d.com.
Again, at Rhode Island Comic Con 2014, I am privileged to speak with Steve Alhquist of the Humanists of Rhode Island. Now, Steve is always going to have a special place in my heart because, A, I remember him from way back in the day when he used to run a little store called Atomic Comics on the east side of Providence. But B, and not many people might know this, but he was the very first person to ever do an interview for Sci-Fi Journal way back in like 1995, early 1996.
That's funny. I remember doing that interview. It was really fun. I was talking about Osquad, a comic I had done at the time.
Osquad and Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, one of my favorite films. Yeah, at the time, my favorite film. Yeah, maybe still is. Although Avengers is pretty good, so that might knock it out.
So, how is Comic-Con treating you guys this year?
We've been having a great time. I mean, I know there's been some issues outside, but for us, it's been perfect. We set up here as the Humanists of Rhode Island, and we get donations from our members, and we sell it as a fundraiser for our group, and we do outreach, and we talk about what we do as Humanists of Rhode Island, and in general, it's been a very positive, awesome experience. So yeah, this has been great. We'll be here next year.
Now, for those of you who do not know what the Humanists of Rhode Island are, why don't you give them a little synopsis as to what exactly you are and what you do?
Well, we're generally a group of non-believers, and we work together to do good things. And we do charity, well, not charity, but we do outreach. We do volunteer work. We do political work. We work on separation of church and state and things like that. And we're very, very active. We've been around for about 3.5 years. And we're going to continue to work in Rhode Island to make it a little bit easier for people to step out and say they don't believe in things like God. So that's what we're about.
Which is very good, and one of the things that science fiction teaches you is that it is diversity. So whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, there's a place, and that's one of the things I've always appreciated about you. And you can debate you till like the cows come home, and it's always a lot of fun.
Right, exactly. I love the debate, and I love that stuff, but I'm really more interested in doing the kind of work that'll help people live better lives. I'm interested in doing things that we can do to help alleviate poverty or help people get medical or like homelessness and those things. Those are the issues we're really trying to work on, even more than church and state issues, which are important, but that's like bedrock. But the other stuff is really important too. And I've worked with religious leaders to do that, so it's been really interesting and fun.
Any good comics you've read lately?
Right now I'm really liking Jonathan Hickman's Avengers, which is one of my favorite comic coming out from the mainstream stuff. And as far as the smaller stuff goes, I usually wait for it to be compiled into like books now. I'm not really buying the monthlies anymore. I think a lot of people are saying that. And but I've been liking some stuff I've been reading. Trying to think of some titles, but you put me on the spot a little bit. But a saga was pretty good. That's been really good. And some other stuff coming out from him, which has been good. I like the, Manhattan Project. Although that's also by Hickman, so maybe there's he's a good writer. And I, of course, read The Walking Dead. I think that's been a great book series.
Have you got to meet any celebrities, or did you do anything fun? Any little stories you want to give us?
I've mostly manned the table, but I've seen some amazing costumes go by. I saw this great 10-foot-tall Transformer, Optimus Prime last night, which was great, and a lot of other. And I've also really liked seeing a lot of the Star Trek uniforms. Classic Star Trek seems to be in this year, and it's been really fun to see that because I missed that.
I would have no idea why. All right, so if they want to know more about the Humanists of Rhode Island, where can they go and get more information?
Yeah, humanistri.com. humanistri.com. Very easy.
That's very awesome, Steve. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Hi, James here at Rhode Island Comic Con with Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, film actor, martial artist. How do you like Rhode Island Comic Con so far?
It's been great. The greatest part about doing these things, of course, are meeting people. And to meet people from Rhode Island, this kind of Eastern energy is really wonderful because people are so down to earth, as I am. So I'm very happy to be here.
Did you ever find difficulties working like in Hollywood as a Asian American actor?
Well, I didn't have any trouble once I got in with getting some actually better breaks than most actors get, period. You would think that because I am Asian that there would be less roles, and it's true there are less roles, but there's less people competing for those roles, so I always had a very good shot. And percentages have been good.
You've had a lot of great success with the Mortal Kombat series, too.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat worldwide is probably the most well-known for that age group. Rising Sun for the older generation, yeah.
I've really enjoyed seeing your work. I've always, being Japanese myself, wanted to see more of Japanese actors on television or movies in America. I was lucky in living in Hawaii. I got to watch some Japanese television there, things like with Sonny Chiba and things like that. Have you ever worked with Sonny Chiba?
I've never worked with him, but I've met him, and we had some great connection. I'm kind of sad that we weren't able to actually put something together and work, but he's a great guy.
Do you have some projects lined up for coming up?
Coming up, right in the middle of negotiating, so it's kind of bad luck to talk to. But I just finished a pilot for a TV series for Amazon called Man in the High Castle, and that was an amazing opportunity. Hope that it will come through. You never know, but for this business, it's probably the riskiest business in that you never know if you're going to ever work again. You don't know when the next opportunity is coming, if ever again. So you got to really have a mind frame that's that open. Yeah.
Thank you very much for talking to me. Very good. Nice to meet you finally and see you here.
Thank you, man.
Okay, now back again at Rhode Island Comic Con 2014. We are sitting with Dome. Wow, that's a really sinister name. And Dome...
There's a reason for that. There you go.
Dome does a podcast that's been on for over 6 years that talks about sci-fi on Saturday night. And so the podcast is called, appropriately enough, Sci-Fi Saturday Night. Dome, welcome.
Hey, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate it.
So why don't you talk a little bit about your podcast and what you do?
Our podcast has been around for about 6 years now. We have about 250 shows in our backlog, all of which you can find on our website, oddly enough, sci-fi-saturdaynight.com. The best way to describe the show is, imagine 4 of your best geeky friends sitting in your living room on a Saturday night with a bottle of wine, which loosens your tongue enough so that everybody actually says what they feel, and one of them brought a special guest. And that's what our show's like. It's an hour of 4, 5, 6 geeks just sitting around talking about what happened that week, and then inviting a special guest in to join us.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, you said you've been on the air for over 6 years. I assume you can get on iTunes and different local podcasts and whatnot.
Yeah, it's available off our website. All 250 episodes can stream off our website. We're on iTunes, and we're also on something called Stitcher, which I'm not sure what it is. But when we were at Boston, somebody said, "Are you guys on Stitcher yet?" So I figured we better get on it, so we are.
And you have new shows every Saturday?
Yeah, we very, very rarely miss a Saturday. We used to do them live on Saturday nights, and then we decided we needed lives. So we moved it to a tape on Wednesday and air that tape on Saturday unedited. And I see the rest of our crew walking towards me now with big grins on their face after getting an interview with Nichelle Nichols. Nice guy. Nice job. And, yeah, we've been rarely... Well, we'll miss this 2 in December because our tape dates would be Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. But we, as a rule, don't miss a show.
And that is awesome, man. And your website again?
SciFiSaturdayNight.com. Join us. We're fun.
We'll definitely have to check it out. Dome, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Here I am with Juli from Wicked Little Studios. How are you doing here?
I'm doing really well. How about you?
It's been a great day, and both days, actually, you know, the crowds. How about you? Have you been doing well with your little shop here?
We have been doing actually really well, but one of my biggest things that I say about cons is it's not how much money you make, it's about how many of your business cards you get rid of. It's like, seriously, how many people stop to talk to you versus going, okay, bye, and they walk away.
It's the networking that's really key.
It is, and at Rhode Island, every year, it's always amazing with how many people really appreciate the small artists and then the small publishers. So it's great here. Loves it.
Yeah, we have that sort of artsy vibe that really perpetuates into the whole community, and so everybody loves that. Tell me about some of your art and stuff.
Well, I call myself a fangirl for hire, or a professional fangirl, whichever one you prefer. And I draw everything that I personally fangirl over. So I have from custom My Little Ponies to Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, Doctor Who, tons of Doctor Who, Star Wars, you name it, I've got it. I mean, Once Upon a Time, everything. And it's just because I'm a giant nerd, so I want to draw everything I'm nerdy about. Someone hire me, please.
All right, and I see you got some jewelry too. These look beautiful. These little, what are they?
It's all Sutash, which is a braided silk cord, and we do it with Swarovski crystal and Swarovski pearl, and they're all themed. So we even have things like a Slytherin styled bracelet, nice. And our Game of Thrones houses bracelets. So we do everything here. We really do. We try to.
All right, what's your website?
Our website is www.wickedlittlestudio.com, and that will take you to links to our Etsy page, our Facebook page. And so like us, find us on Instagram at wicked_Juli, Juli. That's me. And that's also our Twitter account.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, again at Rhode Island Comic Con 2014. And going with the Game Over segment. Now this is really cool. I'm with James Andrew from PixelRouter.com. And what you are seeing over on the side is their game that he's helped develop called Zone. And they're playing on the Oculus Rift. Yes, there was an actual Oculus Rift here in Rhode Island. So why don't you talk a little bit about the game, what it's all about?
Well, Zone is a game that is originally inspired by two games, particularly Star Fox and Geometry Wars. This is like Star Fox meets Geometry Wars reimagined for VR. My idea is I want to sort of start with very primitive experiences. I feel like in VR, it's almost like starting over. It's almost like I'm starting with retro games because it's so primitive. And we need to sort of establish that ground of primitive VR games. Fun, primitive games, accessible to anyone. And that's what we make at Pixel Router. Particularly also our game Zone and all of our games, we go for a very, nothing offensive in it. It's all very kind of bright and happy and something that would be accessible to anyone and also a ton of fun. So we've been demoing it all day. Most of the day there's been like a 45-minute wait to play this, and it's just been so much fun seeing people's responses to it. It's been fantastic.
That's awesome. Why don't you talk a little bit about the game itself and what do you have to do?
Yeah, well, in the game, the idea is the game is called Zone, and there's actually a whole backstory behind it, which I'm not ready to talk about yet, but it's there. In fact, Zone is the main character that you are inhabiting and you are controlling. And what you're doing in the game is you're trying to get as far as you can in 3 minutes. So you're shooting these little squid opponents, these guys, and these gems fly out. And then you got to collect them with your tractor beams, and the more you collect, the faster that you go. So you can't die, but you can go faster and faster and faster, and your goal is to go as fast as possible by collecting as much as possible. And what's great about that is I've seen some people that are not good gamers play this and have a blast, because the worst that happens is you just go through it relatively slowly. But if you're an intense gamer, it'll deal with that too, and you can get really, really in the zone, as it were, with this, playing it really fast.
That's awesome. And for more information, what is your website? Where they can go to learn?
The website is we have pixelrouter.com, PIXELROUTER.com, and you can follow me on Twitter, pixelrouter, PIXELROUTER, and hopefully we'll be at more cons like this. And tonight, actually, I'm even going to a GameStop. Their GameStop around here is having a midnight a Midnight Madness session. They invited me to bring it in there to demo it to a bunch of people. So hopefully I'll be getting out more and more with this, and there'll be more opportunity to play it. And eventually, before long, this will get out there to the market.
Awesome, James. Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure.
Okay, we've got a little bit of a contest for you folks out there who are loyal watchers of Sci-Fi Journal. To respond to this question, you will need to contact us at Sci-Fi Journal.
Actually, it could just be info@risfc.org.
Okay,
or info@risfic.org.
Yep. Sounds good. Now, to get this lovely cup, which says "I love geeks,"
And we do.
And we do. We love geeks like nobody's business. All you have to do is answer a very simple sci-fi trivia question. And the question is this: what was Jane's Christmas present from his mother on the series Firefly?
I know.
Shut up.
I can't get the mug.
No, you can't get the mug. What was Jane's Christmas present from his mother on the series Firefly?
I have no clue.
Should be easy.
Send the answer to info@risfic.org, and if we have more than one correct answer, we will choose the winner out of a hat.
Like this one.
Yep, like that one.
Like this one. Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course I know the answer.
And we will then wing it your way. Okay, let's get on with toys, props, and other stuff, man!
All right, where our wonderful camera people points at things and we speak about them. Okay, that looks like a Harry Potter lunchbox cookie tin type of thingamajiggy.
That is really cool.
It's pretty neat because it's got the names of the characters on the side and a little owl and all that other stuff. So
now that's the original illustration art too, isn't it?
Yep, I believe so.
So that's really neat.
Okay, and next to that we have a book that was provided by Adam Tuckman. Adam, what was that again? It's a
graphic novel.
A graphic novel.
Always by George R.R. Martin.
Yep, George R.R. Martin.
It's based upon a TV pilot he did back in the early 90s.
Okay, based on a TV pilot that he did back in the early 90s.
Parallel universes.
Yep.
And what happened was there was a delay as the star was working a different project.
Right.
And the studio changed personnel, and they sort of backed down on the project. Then Sliders came out on fax, and that killed the project.
Okay, so it was a project that he had put together in the 90s, but it didn't go through, and you can read all about it in this graphic novel. So
now, it's been enough time since Sliders was out, and given the success of Game of Thrones,
right.
I wonder if a studio would jump on this and pick it up because it's George R.R. Martin.
Because he's got the reputation now. That's true.
Yep.
But he's still working on Thrones, so who knows?
Yeah, he's still working. Well, he's not working on Thrones as much as, I mean, he's working on the novels, but he's not working on the series as much.
All right, what else we got? Go, Galvin, go.
Looks like we have a Hobbit cup.
Yep.
I'm going to assume from a movie theater.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
And the Scenic Harry Potter game.
Yep.
Well, the Scenic games have always been fun, especially.
Those are always fun.
Those are good.
Those are really good.
Only paid $8 for that soda cup too. Yeah.
Two of my latest Xbox One games, Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, which Beyond Gotham is literally Beyond Gotham. Mark, you'll like it because the Green Lantern Corps is in it.
Oh, nice.
And they have
Lego,
a lot.
Lego Batman
So
is
Lego
awesome.
Batman is awesome. So
Yep.
definitely check it out. On the other side, one of my acquisitions from Black Friday, or Green Friday, or whatever you want to call it.
Green
The
Friday.
Evil Within, which is by the guy who came up with Resident Evil. It's a survival horror game, which looks really cool, and it's very terrifying, and it is recommended.
All right. Couple of movies.
And a couple of other things that I scored, one on Black Friday and one just because. Guardians of the Galaxy is now out. I'm still kind of aggravated. The only way to get a digital copy with the package is by having to get the 3D version. But if you catch it opening week, the price is definitely worth it, and it's still an excellent movie to go see. And a movie that surprisingly was better than I thought it was going to be and what other people thought it was going to be, the Tom Cruise sci-fi action flick Edge of Tomorrow. Definitely worth watching.
Which they retitled Live, Die, Repeat.
Live, Die, Repeat,
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow, but it's still. And Bill Paxton has a very memorable role in there as like a drill sergeant.
Yes, he does. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right. Is that all we got for that? Toys, props, and other stuff? Yeah. Okay. All right. If you want to get in touch with us, our contact info is www.risfc.org. We have Facebook, and you can watch past episodes on our YouTube channel, and we have a Twitter feed as well. We also get together for RISFIC monthly meetings, which are a lot of fun. Now it's January, it's the new year. Let's switch hats. All right, here we go. I got one for you, and I got one for you, and I got one for me. So we're gonna end this January 2015
He's
episode
not serious, is he?
by saying Happy New Year.
Oh my God.
Hope you guys have a wonderful 2015. Please join us every month for wonderful Sci-Fi Journal shows. In February, we're going to be at the TempleCon convention on February 6th in Warwick, Rhode Island at the Crown Plaza. And we're going to be taping a live segment of Sci-Fi Journal. If you're in the Rhode Island area, stop by TempleCon and join us. That's going to be February 6th.
So if you
want to
see, basically, if you want to see how goofy we are in like real life, there's your chance, because you'll actually see a taping of the episode as it happens.
That's right.
We look like Harry Potter geeks.
Oh man.
Where's the sorting hat?
I know. Well, I got Gryffindor. What did you get?
I got Slytherin.
What did you get, man?
I got Ravenclaw.
Madison, what did you get? Oh, Ian, what did you get? I got a rock. All right, that's going to be it this month for Sci-Fi Journal. Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great 2015. We'll see you next time.